Before we start the episode, we would like to acknowledge that this podcast is recorded on the stolen lands of the Turrbal and Yagara people. We would like to pay our respect to the elders past and present and extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people listening today. Welcome, lovelies, to the Burlesque Bulletin podcast. I am your host, as always, Honey Holloway, and today we are back with a familiar face. We are back with Frenchie Darling. She was here on, I think, episode 8 of the first ever season, and now she's back, and she's brought some things with her. She's brought some more sass, some more fabulousness, and another title. She is Mx Burlesque Queensland 2024, and she's back today to give some advice and all the big sister love for the Mx Burlesque Queensland 2025 competitors, which is coming up very soon. So yes, we talk about all things competition, her experience, and just all things Mx Burlesque. I hope you enjoy. We had a lovely little time, as I always do, with Frenchie Darling. Oh, and a quick little reminder, if you have not listened to the first episode with Frenchie Darling, that was episode 8, go and listen to it right now. Pause this one, go listen to it, and you can learn more about Frenchie before you come back to this episode. Anyways, without further ado, it's the deadly sin. It's Frenchie Darling. So welcome back, everyone. This is the Burlesque Bulletin podcast, and I am your host, Honey Holloway. And today we have a bit of a different format episode. We have the lovely Frenchie Darling here. She's back. She's been with us before. If you haven't listened to that episode, please go and listen ASAP and then come back to this one. But she was one of our first ever guests on the podcast, which I was so happy that you said yes to being on the pod, because I was like, no one's been on the pod yet. Like, they're going to be like, oh, why would I talk to this random person? But I'm so glad that you were able to come on, and we did do that in studio, which was really exciting. But now we're in the Zoom land, and we're gonna talk about a very exciting thing that happened to you, I guess. We are going to talk about Mx Burlesque Queensland specifically. And I'm sure most people know that you took out the title for 2024. Claps all round. And we were just talking a little bit before, and I was saying that I re-listened to your first episode, and it's really cool to see how far you've come in only just a brief period of time. So yeah, well, welcome back. First and foremost.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm glad to be back. Yeah, good. Can't complain.
You've got a beautiful,
tired, but I always am.
Beautiful setup behind you.
Yes, thank you. Headdress from my red carpet runway portion of the competition. Mannequin legs holding plants, because why wouldn't I have that? You know, and secret other things.
Yeah, stunning. So tell us about, well, let's go right back to the start and tell us about the first time you ever knew about or found out about Mx Burlesque, or even Miss Burlesque, if it was that back then.
It was just Miss Burlesque back then. So I had started burlesque and going to Bombshell Burlesque Academy in 2016. And it was 2017 that I first went to Miss Burlesque Queensland. And that was the year that Magnolia Knife won the title. It was at the Chanel Theatre at the uni. And it was so exciting. And at that point, because I was still fresh meat, I didn't know that I wanted to do the competition. But it was just incredible. And even seeing someone else win and seeing how that was for them, and you get this rush yourself, it was incredibly exciting.
What was the act that she did that won her that?
So that was back when they had red carpet classic and unique.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right. So she did
that
two
was
acts. Yeah.
yeah, yep, yep. So her classic was a fan dance, definitely her area of expertise. And for her unique section, she did it was incredible. It was a Marie Antoinette bit.
Mhm.
And she had her little lady servants come out from under her gown.
Oh,
It was fantastic. It was a live like singing performance,
oh
parody singing performance. Yeah, it was great. It was
my God.
fantastic. So yeah, really creative, really innovative. Yeah, it was great, and she totally deserved to take home that crown. So yeah.
I was hoping it was that act because the first time I ever saw Magnolia Knife was in Byron Bay, I think for AB Festival, and she did that act, and I was instantly like obsessed. It must have been a little bit different because obviously traveling and everything like that, but I
Yeah.
was like, who is this woman? This creative, amazing woman, and that's the best idea I've ever seen. It was great.
Oh yeah, like hook, line, and sinker. Like I was just so obsessed with seeing what Magnolia was going to do next. So being able to perform alongside her and get to know her as a person over the years has been like just a really special experience, I guess, like a lot of people that I initially saw when I started burlesque. So yeah, very honored.
Amazing. So you said when you first saw it, obviously it was early days and you didn't know if that would ever be you or you'd ever want to, apply. When did you
Mm.
sort of think about applying or that could be something that you wanted to do?
Oh, it was when 2020. Of course, the scary year that we don't talk about because COVID. A lot of things changed, right? Um, a lot of people had a reality check about what they were doing. A lot of us put our creative careers on hold. Some of us were forced to because, that was a lot of people like that their main income. Think about like burlesque classes and things like that, being a teacher. Uh, Essentially, when it came around to it, 2021 was the time when I decided, oh yeah, I think I might do that next year, right? And then I tuned into, and this was the last national competition. They broadcast it online, and that was the year that Diesel Darling took out the national title. We haven't had one of those since, except for Mx Burlesque Masters, which happened in January of this year. So I was pretty much gearing up. I had my concepts ready to go. And then the national producer and owner of the competition said that the categories were changing. The competition was changing. It was becoming Mixed Burlesque Queensland instead of Miss Burlesque Queensland, which I was like, hell yeah. And then she also announced that the classic category was changing to striptease to open up a bit more because I guess maybe there was some feedback about classic being too restrictive. I don't know. I'm just throwing out theories here. So it was at that point that I went, "Ooh, I've prepared
Mm.
classic." So I decided to just sit back and watch to see what happened. Um, and I kind of knew that I would eventually do it, but I just didn't know when at that point. So that was kind of the first time that I thought to myself, oh, I might actually do this.
And did you have specific acts like obviously you did for the classic
Mm.
part? Did you change anything to sort of fit the striptease category, or was it sort of what you wanted to do for classic and you've sort of morphed it a little bit? How did that come about?
It was exactly what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
So Fly Me to the Moon was exactly what I was going to do for classic, and I chose to keep it for striptease. I think the only thing that changed is how I developed as a performer from the time that I decided to commission that costume and create that act versus when I entered the competition. and finally got that act out in the open ahead of the competition. Um, so yeah, really the only thing that changed was just me.
Were there any like meltdowns when you were preparing for going on stage?
For the competition itself, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like meltdowns are a part of the creative process because if you're not having a meltdown, maybe you just don't care enough. That's just that's just my personal gauge for how I do this. Yeah, like one specific meltdown that I had was over the big skirt, what I call the big skirt, uh, for red carpet runway. So I made that. I made the pop-up skirt. So I couldn't fit it. I couldn't fit it in a lounge room. When it came to like cutting it and pinning it, I had to take it outside of the apartment
Oh my
and
God.
like go into the complex and like put it on the bricks and you know the pavement because the area was bigger and it was frustrating and I cried. And I was like, I hate the big skirt. Like it was very it was toddler-esque, that's for sure. But you know, we have the cry, we compose ourselves. I think maybe throughout the entire process I had like four meltdowns, which is pretty good considering like I have been actively preparing for. Well, I started preparing as soon as I put my application in. So that's like what five months of like doing something for the competition every single day. I think four meltdowns is pretty good, you know?
Yeah. That's pretty good. So for the people who haven't seen, um, who weren't there on the night or haven't seen it on video or anything like that, can you explain your acts and then also the was it runway outfit or the whatever you call
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Yes. So, starting with red carpet, that's the very, very start of the competition where the MC, which is usually Ella Fontaine, reads out your bio. You have like, I think it's like 30 words or something like that. I can't remember. You Actually, I might be mistaking that. I think it's you have like 30 seconds on stage, and she reads out your bio. But the thing is, people cheer so loudly for you that you can't hear. You can't hear what she's up to.
Yep.
And I remember being like, "Yes," and I'm going to do my thing here, and that I couldn't hear it. I couldn't hear it. So it doesn't bloody matter. But for red carpet, I decided to go for a personal branding angle. So I came out in this headdress. I had a fully beaded and stoned corset that I had covered, big skirt. So it just really looked like really, really beautiful, classic, old Hollywood type John. I walk out on stage and that no one knows I have the gimmick yet. I turn around and I flip my skirt up and it's this giant fan and on the back it says wee wee in big white letters. The costume on the outside is completely royal blue, and the skirt underneath is big red satin in like a tomato red. Um, and it was the best, like flipping up the skirt and hearing the crowd go absolutely insane. I was like, yes, it had the effect I wanted. So yeah, that's some personal silly goose branding. Yeah, because otherwise I feel like the runway would be like, yeah, that's beautiful, and we guess that's Frenchie. But the thing about Frenchie is she usually has some sort of a gimmick,
Hmm.
and that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that. I was lucky enough to help you a little bit with that skirt, which I feel very
Yes.
privileged. But it was a monster. It really
It
was.
was. It
Like
was huge. Yeah.
lucky you had that big space in your apartment that we could actually like, crawl around.
Yeah, yeah, because we had to like fold bits up to get to other bits, and
Yeah.
yeah, I was very, very grateful to have your assistance with stoning the skirt and to others as well.
Mhm.
Uh, because like I didn't even want that much stoning, right? But because it was such a big costume piece, it was a lot of stoning.
Yeah, for sure. And it definitely does make a difference as well on stage. And you want that
It
moment to
does.
be the biggest moment it could possibly be.
Exactly, exactly. You know, it pays to have the big moment. Yes.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah,
And so that was the red carpet. And then you
yeah,
had Fly Me to the Moon was for striptease.
that's
And
right. Yep.
and then was it, what did you call your unique poodle something? Pink poodle?
Yeah, I don't know, but I called it anything because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, thank God, I don't have to call it anything because it's just the unique section. So I think I wound up just calling it bitch.
Perfect. Amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
And
because you get asked like what act you're doing, and so I was like, bitch, I guess.
and for those who haven't seen that at all, can you describe a little bit about about that act?
Yeah, so Poodle, by the way, was like, and not in its final form in that concept, but it was a concept that I thought about doing when I had debuted my first solo. I wanted to do a classic poodle, like French pink poodle act, and then it just never came to be. And then when I knew that I wanted to enter the competition, I was like, right, like I want to be like a kinky, fetishy poodle. Like we're going to play with the theme of domination and things like that. So to paint a picture of its final form for the listeners and viewers at home, um, picture a really big, pink, sexy poodle that also has backup dancer poodles in puppy masks,
Oh,
pink puppy masks at that, with little fluffy wrist cuffs and little fluffy tails. Like, oh, yeah,
yeah, it was
great,
amazing.
incredible.
Amazing. I think everyone was, it was not expected, but also not
Yeah.
surprising. I feel like it was just the craziest, kinkiest, like wild side of Frenchie, which I think was amazing. It was so good.
Yeah, no, I genuinely think that it caught people by surprise as well. And I think that's why I chose not to debut it anywhere because I wanted that act to be on that stage. Incredible lighting, like you're in control of the lighting and the stage cues and everything like that. And I thought I need this to have really big impact. So that's why I chose not to debut it anywhere else first. Uh, but yeah, it was. I think maybe people would have expected me, perhaps. I'm just making assumptions here. I think they might have expected me to whip out something maybe comedy
Mm.
oriented, in terms of like a really silly act. But I was like, no. You know what? Like, I'm an incredible sensual being. I've not been able to explore this particular act because I've been reserving it for so long. Let's knock their tits clean off, you know? Blow them off. Go on.
And so with all of those costumes, we talked about the skirt that you mostly did yourself, but everything else, um, was it custom made or bits and pieces here and there bought from different places? Can you let us know?
Yeah, of course. So Poodle was a mismatch of different hands coming together. So the stoning I did, like the stoning on my poodle costume, and my friend Jade helped me out with that a little bit as well. The bra and the skirt and the undies for that was made by Jo Rogers from Style on Stage. She used to make bodybuilding bikinis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I remember going to her and saying, look, I'd really, really love for you to make parts of this costume because I love the cuts of bodybuilding undies. And like she had to redraft like old patterns and create new ones for the skirt and things like that because look, normally she's dealing with teeny tiny bodybuilders with a very, very low percentage of body fat. So having to draft up the G string and the bra in different ways, she came up with the scalloped idea for the bra. Um, Cello from Cello's boutique, Cello Bordelli's boutique. She 3D printed my pasties. I sent her a message and I said, "Can you please 3D print me a pair of my nipples?" And she said,
Best.
"Yeah, sure." It was a first for her. She hadn't received a request like that before. So I painted and stoned them, and I also asked her to drill a hole through those pasties so that I could put piercings in them.
Oh,
Yeah,
amazing.
because I wanted them to be like mine, right? So we did that. I made my C string with the pink fluffy landing strip and the little tail
Amazing.
on the back. Yeah, iconic type shit. I covered the corset myself. I made my own boot covers and thigh suspenders that keep them up. Michael Irwin from The Final Touch made my poodle wig because he used to style all of Miss Poodle's wigs, the drag queen, when she was Miss Poodle.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was just like, "Oh, I know how to do this." It was like a week before the competition because I was styling it myself and I was getting in my own way and I was pissing myself off. I was like, "Oh my God." He's like, "Just bring it to me. Just bring it to me. I'll sort it." And bless his heart, he did. And I'm so very thankful for him because that wig is incredible. The pup costumes, I ordered the pup masks off of Etsy. I stoned them myself. The bodysuits, I just got bodysuits from Pretty Little Thing, and Shimmer helped me rhinestone the bodysuits as well. I added the little wrist cuffs and the tails, and purchased some collars, and went to Bunnings and got chained.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, because I also made my boa myself out of chains from Bunnings and tulle and made like pom poms for them. So yeah, it was a lot. So that there were several different like hands on several different pieces to make it come together, which was really special. And my runaway costume, I covered the corset, put like beaded appliques and stones on it myself. I made this myself out
Wow.
of wire coat hangers and cardboard.
Oh my God, heck yeah. She's
Yeah,
crafty.
yeah, because I was going to get it commissioned elsewhere, and I was like, "Girl, you're clever as fuck. Just try and make it yourself." And I did. It'll never be as good as a professional can make it, but like it's fine. It was going to be on stage for 30 seconds, so I was like, "It's all right. Apply the 5 meter rule, baby." Um, Malachi drafted my skirt pattern because I'm terrible at maths. She's brilliant at it, so she helps draft the pattern and cut out some base pieces with me. The undies, just a pair of like swimsuit bottoms that I put ruffles on. Yeah, that was pretty much it. So it came from all around, and the Fly Me to the Moon costume was made by Rita Fontaine years before. So, yeah, it all came together.
It takes a village. It really does.
And it does. It really, really does.
What was it backstage like?
Yeah, it was good. I think everyone was just so focused on what they had worked so hard on. We're all put in different dressing room areas at the Princess. They have an incredible backstage green room area. So we were very, very blessed to have access to our own dressing tables and things like that. So I was sharing a dressing room with Kim Shot and Effie Lamore. And honestly, like the vibes were really, really good. We were chill, we were happy. I always focus on having respectful fun. So everyone was just really, I think everyone was like, well, we're as ready as we're ever going to be. So they just focused on having a really lovely time. The backstage was good.
Amazing. That's so great that you had such a good like you all had separate dressing rooms. That's like chef's kiss and rare.
Yeah, like it was good. We could be as involved with each other or as isolated as we wanted to be. It was really good. So it accommodated for a lot of different needs. You
Mm,
could have quiet time, you could have a social time. It didn't matter. You could do it, and it was really really nice to have that option.
amazing. Well, we are going to go to a little break and we will be back with Frenchie Darling.
A quick thanks to Cam Attry for sponsoring the Burlesque Bulletin and for all his hard work behind the scenes, filming and editing the podcast. Cam has been involved in the burlesque industry for over 12 years through his photography and videography. If you are a performer looking to get promo photos and video, or a producer looking to get your show photographed or filmed, please contact Cam through his website, camattry.photography, or find him on Instagram at camattryphotovideo. And now back to the episode.
Hello, everyone. We are back with Frenchie Darling. So, what are some top tips that you have for competition prep for anyone who's going into it this year or wants to go into it in future?
Yeah, good question. There's so many valuable pieces of advice that I could give. Not because I know everything, just because these things worked for me, right? But I would probably say it's really easy to get like caught up in what other people are doing. Personally, I was so busy just trying to make my dream a reality for the stage that I was staying in my own lane and focusing on myself. So that would be my biggest recommendation. Who cares about your competition? Chances are you're probably good friends or acquaintances with them anyway, but just respectfully push that to the side and just focus on yourself. If you're not focusing on yourself, you're doing it wrong. Sorry. I guess another one would be do something every day. That was a piece of advice that Sugar du Jour has in her. So you've entered a burlesque competition workshop, and it worked really, really well. Do something every day. There were definitely like some days that I dedicated to rest and not doing anything, but after clocking off from work, I'd do a little bit of rhinestoning, or I'd edit my music, or I'd rehearse a little bit, just one thing every day to contribute toward the final goal. Um, and honestly, just make sure that you're looking after yourself, getting enough sleep. You can't do your best work when you're sleep deprived. Um, Eating properly. This is all like, common sense stuff, but it goes out the window when you're spending hours and hours on prep, right? It's hard enough to look after yourself in this world in that way with baseline things happening, like work and family and things like that. You will have to make some sacrifices, so you need to be looking after yourself. Uh, Another one popped into my head. What the hell was it? What was it? I can't remember right now, but those were probably like the things that helped me the most. Yeah, I think just honor yourself, stay in your lane, look after yourself, act like it's important to you. Do something every day for it. It will make the load lighter in a sense.
Definitely. So, what was a show day like for you? How were you feeling?
I was feeling tired. I had some nerves, of course I did, because all of this work that I put in over the past 5 months, um, it was the day. And the thing about it was I knew that this was going to fly by. Like the whole evening was just going to fly because it was going to be one thing after the next to get ready. Uh, but I believe that all, if not most, competitors had a really good attitude on show day, and they were feeling it too, right? I wasn't so nervous that I was absolutely crippled by the anxiety or anything like that, but it was just okay, yeah, I'm nervous, but like I've been preparing for this, so it's gonna be okay. Like just making sure that I was eating things that I knew that my body could handle in a crisis.
Mm.
Like not gonna eat anything like greasy because the chances are high of me wanting to blow chunks everywhere. Just so yeah,
No,
show
no
day
milk for
was
the lactose intolerant girlies on show day. Not a good idea.
nah, girl. Considering we don't wash our costumes most of the time, you don't want lactose problems. You know what I mean?
Uh, so what about some pros and cons of the whole experience?
Oh, see, I don't not to kiss anyone's bum, but I just don't think that there were really any cons. Because I feel like while I was pressed for time, I still had enough time to get everything done. I really can't think of any cons
Amazing.
to the competition. I think that if you allow yourself to get caught up in gossip or drama, that's that's a bit shit. I think if we're going to talk about cons that happen because of the competition prep rather than the competition itself, is that sometimes people will come to you with gossip like you want to hear it, whereas I'm the sort of person who's like, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. I don't have space for this.
Hmm.
I'm busy. I'm busy.
Yeah.
Unless we're going to be saying nice things, then I don't want to hear about it. So I'd say that that's a con, but that's just a result of what's happening. The competition itself,
Yeah.
big thumbs up. The big pros about the competition, and probably the biggest one, is that it changed me as a performer, uh, in the way that it made me elevate my my everything. I stepped my pussy up, you know, like I was really happy with my trajectory and growth as a performer prior to the competition, which is probably also why I was brave enough to enter in 2024. Uh, but more than anything, it helps you elevate yourself. I was learning things that I otherwise wouldn't have learned in terms of really upping my sewing game, or when looking at choreography styles and techniques, I was expanding those as well so that I could get everything to the point that I wanted. So that was definitely the biggest pro. And if you do a competition like that and you kind of have the goal, because this was my goal, I want to be really, really proud of what I was putting on stage. And I wanted my acts to go as planned, go as intended. I want the audience to feel what I wanted them to feel. I want them to get something from what I was doing. And I guess we kicked that goal.
I think
um,
so.
maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that was the biggest pro. Like you're supported really well by the production team as well. So yeah, yeah, mostly pros, no cons.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So how did you feel when you heard your name being called for the winner of Mixed Burlesque Queensland?
Oh, um, I felt relieved. I like his uh probably the question that I got asked the most was, did you know you were going to win? I was like, no, I was just focused on what I was doing. It was just red carpet runway, getting ready for striptease, getting that done, and being like, yeah, and then getting ready for unique and doing that, and then getting changed again. Like I wasn't thinking, oh yeah, I fucking got this. I'm so gonna win. Like that's not what this was. I had no idea. I was very delightfully surprised. Um, delightfully, oh, girl, I don't know.
Delightfully is right.
Delightfully, I don't know, I'll
Either
leave it
way.
up to the experts. Someone correct me, please. But I was so shocked, and for anyone who was there or saw any of the videos, I ugly cried. I ugly cried because I'd wanted to do the competition for years, and I put in so much hard work. And personally, when I did the competition, I wasn't going in being like, I want to win. Yeah, sure, that's a really lovely bonus, and I'm so grateful to be able to carry on the legacy of this competition, and I can only hope that I'm really doing it well. Um, I was just really, really wanting to be proud of what I put on there. So when I heard my name, I was just like, oh, like I could have buckled at the knees. I swear to
Oh,
God. I ugly cried into Martini's big fake pink mustache as she put the crown on my head. And it was just, it felt like sure, it's a win and it's validating for you, but it felt like a win for previous versions of myself. It felt like a win for my supporters and the people in my community that I resonate with and they resonate with me. A very, it was going to sound so dorky and so lame, but it was a very spiritual, out of body, exciting experience, I guess you could say.
amazing. So how has it been since you won the title? Has there been any shows that have popped up because of it? I'm sure there has been, but yeah, what's been happening?
Oh, well, I went on the headliners tour.
Hmm.
That was incredible. Um, that was also a very full circle moment when I found out that Banbury Cross was one of the headliners. I had looked up to her since I was a baby performer. Also didn't act to sing, but hers has lived far, far longer than mine. Mine got retired. Hers is iconic. Um, she now owns that song, you know. It's funny. If you know, you know. Burlesque. But it was incredible. That opportunity came through my door the day after I won the title.
Oh my God, the day
Two of
after.
the day after, it hadn't even been 24 hours yet. Two of the producers came to my apartment with flowers and a card, and we sat down. Um, and they offered me a spot on the lineup. Um, and they're like, "Look, we knew that we wanted to have you join us, but last night was just confirmation of that. So we'll get your contract to you as soon as possible." And I cried again.
Too much emotional things happening. Oh my
Yeah,
God, it's such a
I
short period
know.
of time.
Yeah, right. Like I answered the door. I'm wearing like big band shirt, big pants. Hair is my wig tossed, snatched, and I'm just like old stage makeup like caked around my eyelashes, and it was good stuff. So headliners was one thing that came, I guess, sort of as a result of the competition. I don't know if anything has definitely changed as a result of winning the title. I can't say
Mm.
whether it put me on the map a little more in our community. I'm not sure. Um, it definitely helped with headliners, I feel. That was sensational, going on tour with such a wonderful cast and our special guests that we had along the way as well. I only wish that I could have done Perth Fringe. That would have been really sick. But it was still incredible. Uh, oh yeah, I also got a gig on the Gold Coast for New Year's Eve, because the choreographer and producer of that show had seen me win the title, and she said, "Yep, I want to work with that person." Um, it was nuts. It was nuts. Because these are people from all different walks of the creative world, right? It's cool to be funky, fun, and relevant in your own community, but then when other communities want to work with you, it's a really lovely collaborative experience and pulls us out of our own world, and it also shakes things up for the world you're going into, corporate dance world. So that was really fun. That was really cool. Really wonderful producer. Um, Yeah, I think headliners is probably it's got to be the biggest, most substantial thing that came as a result of winning that title, I would say.
And it was such an amazing show. Like that, there was so many amazing shows back to back, and I was like, I can't handle this. My
Yes.
wallet cannot handle all these amazing shows and all these amazing performers. And I was just like,
I know. How do you choose in this economic crisis? How do you choose?
literally, yeah, so hard. Oh, amazing. Well, what have you got going on for the near future? Or has there been some, obviously there's been some bucket list things that have been ticked off, but is there anything on the horizon that you're hoping to achieve?
Yes, well, I've been meaning to get over to Perth for what feels like my entire performance career. I have applied for the Perth International Burlesque Festival, so fingers and toes. I'd really like to be doing that in October. I'm also performing at the Victorian Burlesque Gala, which Domino du Jour is the producer of. So that happens in June
Mm.
in Melbourne. So doing that, very, very excited. I'm also headlining the Vaudeville Consortium's show as well in May 17th. And a certain pink dog is coming back, Bork.
Oh my God, I'm so
Very
excited. I
exciting.
have to come to that show now.
I'm excited. I could kick a door off its fucking hinges, honestly. So that there's that. Also Vanguard in June as well. I'll be performing that. So that's great. I always love a Vanguard show. I always love Vanguard.
La La Land?
Yes, that one will be at La La Land. Yeah.
I might edit
Slay.
I might edit this out because I don't know, it hasn't been released yet, but I'm also on that lineup.
Oh yes, yes. We get to do a show together. Woo! Yeah.
Oh my God, my dreams are coming true. I get to perform with Frenchie Darling and fucking La La Land. Thank God.
Yes. So exciting. That's
Oh
going
my
to be
God.
great.
Heck yeah.
Actually.
Oh, I'm so excited. I've told all my friends, even though it hasn't been announced yet, I'm like, don't say anything. Not that they would, but
Yeah.
don't say anything to anyone, but oh my God.
That's
Well, that's
fabulous.
very exciting. If I wasn't performing, I'd also be in the audience, but I'm gonna see it anyway.
Okay. It's all right. We'll be there. We won't be square.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so far that's all I have penciled in. There are things I'm trying to lock in interstate and locally. And I'm just kind of going where the breeze tights me. But I guess probably the thing that I've been asked about lately with the competition coming up again is my handover
Oh,
act.
yes. Oh my God, it's coming up so soon.
Yes, I know. Yeah, it's going to be one of those like blink and it'll be here. So yeah, I'm going to have to basically I don't have to, but I'm choosing to because it's just who I am. Pretty anal about everything. But I'm basically going to go competition mode on the handover act. So I can get everything done
Yeah.
without sweating my ring hole out too much. Because I hate to say it, but going competition mode for an act really helps. It forces you to do it.
Yeah, when you have that deadline, you're like, ah, shit. Can't
I love a
procrastinate for too
deadline.
long.
No, you cannot. So I'm pretty stoked about that. But yeah, those are the things that I know of so far that I have on the horizon. Yeah,
Yay. Well, if there's anything extra, I'm sure we'll put it in the show notes by the time this comes out.
totally.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, it was so lovely to have you again.
Yes, thank you for having me again. This is so lovely. I always love hanging with you anyway. So
Oh,
this is a
thank you
treat.
so much. I love hanging out with you too. But yeah, I will talk to you soon. I'll see you at Vanguard.
Yeah, you will. You will. You sure will.
Is there anything else you want to say to the viewers or anyone else who maybe is thinking about doing mixed burlesque, applying or or getting on the stage, is there any extra advice or anything you want to say to them?
Yes, if you have that internal pull to do it, do it. If you are ready to challenge yourself, if you are ready to level up as a performer, do it. If you're ready to be vulnerable with yourself and others while you create your art, do it. It completely changed me in the best way. And yeah, burlesque is whatever you want it to be. Trans rights are human rights. Enter the competition.
Heck yeah. I can't click, but if I could, I would.
That's right, I'll do it for you.
Thank you. All right, it was lovely to speak to you, and hopefully we'll have you again for a part 3, another episode.
Yeah, see you in a year, am I right?
Yeah, exactly. It'll just be the timeline of all the amazing things that you do each time.
18-month clock in.
Yeah, that's your deadline. The Burlesque Bulletin is your deadline. There's your competition deadline.
Got it. I'm in it.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much to our guest for being on the podcast and letting us take a peek behind the curtain of their lives. Thanks for everyone joining us, and we will see you in our next episode.